The Freedom Conference took over Mount Olive and Hackettstown this past Saturday and Sunday, and we've got all the best plays for you. I'm Darren Wallace, and this is the first ever MCYFL Freedom Conference Playoff Rewind Show. In its inaugural season, the conference added to the Super Pee Wee or 5th grade division to its playoff slate, and that is where we'll start. Number 4 seed Randolph and number 1 seed Wayne, two highly respected teams who have dominated all year long. We'll show you just how this one shook out. We'll start with Randolph and Wayne, two teams who've dominated all year long. They had the first game of the day, and they certainly set the tone. We'll start with Randolph on offense, and they're looking to get on the board first. This play from Jack Baumwall will certainly help the case. He drops back, evades pressure, and connects with Jamison Skidmore, who goes down inside the 5. And then just a couple of plays later, it's a direct snap to Jamison McConnell. He goes in for 6 from a few yards out. And after a successful 1-point try, it's 7-0 Bulldogs. But the Panthers would strike back in the second half. It's Luke Jager on the handle, and Jager is going to take it up the sideline for a big gain down inside the 30. Look at him running up that sideline. That would set up Elijah Blackwell from 10 yards out. He takes the end around, and he's finally driven down at the 2. The Panthers are knocking on the door. Then finally, it's Jager who polishes off the drive with the score. And the 1-point try would tie things up at 7. But who wants it more, Randolph or Wayne? Jack Baumwall has your answer. He rolls out and finds Demetrius Kornacki with a juggling catch. How did he hold on to that one? And then, look at Baumwall on this play. He's rolling to his left. He shakes one tackler, and then look at him go. He's going to juke out another one. He falls to his knees, and Baumwall is down inside the 5. Then Baumwall again to the air, running to his right. Puts it in the air for Kornacki, but he catches it and he's short. So now it sets up 4th and goal. It worked earlier, why not do it again? Jamison McConnell, the Wildcat plunge up the middle for the score, and the 1-point try would give the Bulldogs a 7-point lead late in the 4th quarter. So now, Wayne has to convert on a money drive. Austin Adamo connects with Chase Mayorga down at the 24-yard line. But then, after 3 straight incompletions, they need to move the sticks on 4th down. But Adamo's pass to Blackwell is broken up, and Randolph is going to move on to the championship. In a defensive struggle, the Bulldogs find just enough offense to pull it out. It's a massive win for Randolph, but they'll need an opponent in the championship, so who will that be? Roxbury and Morristown would have to line it up and settle it all out. Morristown, the 3 seed in the Freedom Conference, looking to take down what has been a dominant Roxbury squad, and the Junior Gales would assert that dominance early on. These two teams fated to meet, and they finally did, and it would be the first quarter when Cooper Heffron punches it in from a yard out, giving the Junior Gales an early 6-0 lead. But the Wildcats would answer back late in the first half. Max Curcio keeps the quarterback keeper around the right side, and he falls into the end zone. Touchdown Morristown, and with a good PAT, they take a 7-6 lead into halftime. But it was all Roxbury in the second half. Kalen Nimchik is going to leave his mark on this game. It's a quarterback sneak that goes 30 yards to the house. The Gales retake the lead, and now it's 12-7 in the blink of an eye. Then, in the 4th quarter, more Junior Gales. Hunter Wilsey keeps it himself, and he's going to take it 33 yards. The kid's been balling all year long, and he gives Roxbury an 18-7 lead. One last gasp for Morristown, though. They need some magic, but unfortunately for them, Curcio has nothing left. Morristown falls to Roxbury, and the Junior Gales clinch a spot in the ship, and our teams are officially set. So Roxbury takes down Morristown in a massive playoff win, and our teams are officially set. It'll be the Junior Gales and the Randolph Bulldogs who will square up to settle who is the top dog in the Super Pee Wee division of 2024. Roxbury has dominated opponents all season long, getting contributions from a whole host of players, but Randolph, this is a team who came into this playoff semifinal as the number 4 seed, but coaches have been raving about this program all season long, and it feels right that these are the two teams, the up-and-coming Junior Gales and the steady Bulldogs, duking it out for a chance at the championship. That game will be Saturday, November 16th at 1 p.m. Now on to the Pee Wee or 6th grade division after our 5th graders punched their tickets to the championship. And the first game saw top-seeded Randolph take on Morristown. The Bulldogs have dominated their way through the conference all season long. Could they continue that domination in this playoff game? Bulldogs dominated their way through the Freedom Conference, but of course none of that matters in the playoffs. Morristown might be the underdog on paper, but they weren't shown up to this game with any thoughts other than surviving and advancing. And after a scoreless first quarter, the Wildcats finally break through. Gillen Holsey on 4th down from the 1 plunges ahead for the score and makes it 6-0 Morristown. But the Randolph defense would keep the Bulldogs in it. This play would be called a fumble on the backwards pass, but it's not recovered by Randolph, but it could provide the spark that they needed defensively. But that's not unless Brian Atkins can help it. Big number 81 with the tackle for a loss, and he's been making plays like that all season long. The Morristown defense stood on its head in the first half, but Randolph wouldn't let the Wildcats get too comfy as Gillen Holsey tries to complete a halfback pass, and he's sacked. Anakin Vasquez chased him down, but then look at this from Gillen Holsey. Look at him breaking tackles. It's a Beastquake type of a run. The stiff arm looking like Beastquake and Derrick Henry. He stays on his feet and scores from 36 yards out and extends the lead to 12-0 Morristown. But finally, the Bulldogs answer back. Shane Nelson, look at him rumbling, bumbling, stumbling up the middle. 29 yards up the gut for the house call. And the Bulldogs get the extra point and make it a 12-7 ball game. But now Morristown's back on the move. It's a handoff for Carter Mills, and he's popped and the ball is loose. And Ethan Aparian, he's there, and he's going to go 50 yards untouched. It's a scoop and score and a successful 1-point try. And just like that, Randolph has a 14-12 lead. Both teams would trade possessions until Morristown had one more chance to try and go the length of the field, and it was too little too late. Randolph comes all the way back for the win. They kneel this ball game out, and they advance to the Pee Wee Championship. Another close win for the Bulldogs, 14-12. They continue to assert their dominance in this league. But who will the Bulldogs take on in the championship? That's for Roxbury and Wayne to decide. And it all came down to the 2 and 3 seed who've been battling for position all season long. It all came down to the 2 and 3 seeds on Saturday, Roxbury and Wayne. Roxbury's been one of the most fun teams to watch in the Freedom Conference this year. And Wayne, an absolute machine on both sides of the ball. And it'd be Wayne getting us started with the first scores of the game after a scoreless first frame. Joey Ferrante makes a cut and slices through the Roxbury defense. That's an 11-yard touchdown to put the Panthers up 7-0 after a good PAT try. But in the second half, here comes Roxbury. Jack McCabe, he missed a couple games due to injury, but he came back in a big way, hitting Cam Casandino downfield, and Casandino gets shifty after the catch. It's a 45-yard score, and in the blink of an eye, Roxbury retakes the lead 8-7 after making their field goal, which is worth 2 points. But we go to the fourth quarter. Wayne moving the ball. It's a read option, and Luke Bava, he's going to keep it himself. He's going to run in 21 yards untouched, and Wayne retakes the lead. But Roxbury, they're trying to answer. McCabe is dropping back, and his pass is intercepted. Luke Bava, he's doing it on offense, and he's doing it on defense. And now Wayne has an opportunity to go up multiple scores after Bava takes the ball deep into Roxbury territory. And after the turnover, it's Bava again. You guessed it. He calls his own number. And Bava, bobbing, weaving, fighting for the end zone. And he's going to score again. 31 yards this time. He took over this ball game, and Wayne takes a 19-8 lead. So now Roxbury needs some magic. It's McCabe. It's Casandino. He's got a first down inside the 10. The Gales won't go away yet. Then McCabe, it's a quick screen to my man Evan Parker, and he fights his way into the end zone. His coach says he plays well above his age. He shows it time and time again. The Gales make the field goal, and it's a 19-6 ball game. They need the onside kick, but the Panthers, they recover it, and that is all she wrote. Wayne is moving on to the Freedom Conference Pee Wee Championship. What a game, and what a season it's been for these two teams. So, our championship matchup is set. It's Wayne and it's Randolph. It's the two teams who we all expected to be there, set to battle it out in the championship. Randolph, with that dominant ground game and that ability to rack up explosive plays, will be tough to combat against Wayne. But nonetheless, I guarantee you this game will not disappoint. It should be a slobber knocker. Remember, that game will be Saturday, November 16th at 11 a.m. at Mount Olive High School. But that'll do it for our 6th graders and our Saturday playoff games. So we'll move on to what went down on Sunday at Hackettstown High School. To open things up, it was a Week 1 rematch between number 1 seed Roxbury and 4th seed Rockaway. It's round 2 between the Junior Gales and the Junior Rockets, the number 1 seed undefeated Roxbury and the number 4 seed Rockaway. The first iteration of this game delivered, and this semi-final squabble, it didn't disappoint either. After a scoreless first quarter, the offense picked up quick. Quarterback Tyler Apgar hits Jordan Zuniga in the flat, and Zuniga does the rest. He takes it up the sideline, nearly 40 yards to pay dirt, but he's tripped up inside the 5. It's a nice catch and run to get things started. Then, a few plays later, the Rockets go right back to Zuniga, and he delivers straight up the middle for 6, and the Rockets take an early lead. But the Gales would have an answer. Vincent Morris drops back, and he's going to find his favorite receiver, Cole Connolly, wide open in the end zone, and the Gales strike back and cut the deficit to 2 after missing the field goal. So now it's 8-6 Rockaway. And the Rockets, they're trying to pad their lead. What better way than hitting Vincent Ferrone deep down the field? Apgar finds Ferrone wide open, and he goes 37 yards to the house. But after a missed PAT, it's 14-6. But later, it's Morris to Connolly. You guessed it. And Connolly is going to go 34 yards in for the score. And his second touchdown of the day makes it a tied ball game after the Gales make the field goal try. But the Gales undefeated. The Gales are undefeated for a reason, and not just because they're offense, because they play defense too. Gavin Gross breaks up Apgar's pass, set the Gales up with a chance to take the lead, and then the Gales capitalize. Morse, he's going to call his own number, and he's going to truck a defender into the end zone. The made PAT would give Roxbury a 22-14 lead, and the Gales take matters into their own hands. It's an onside kick recovered by Mason Bertos, and Roxbury punches their ticket to the championship with a 22-14 win over Rockaway. So Roxbury keeps its undefeated season alive. See who they'll take on in the championship. And it's between number 2 seed Randolph and number 3 seed Morristown. They're going head to head, and this one was a true battle of attrition. We've got Randolph and Morristown up next. They took the field, and this was a battle of 2 teams who live on the ground in a big way. And it would be the Wildcats who would shake things up a bit, maybe going away from the ground. Will Vieira takes a snap. He's going to keep it himself to the left side, and he goes into the end zone for the 18-yard score. Morristown gets on the board first, but after a missed PAT, it's only 6-0. But the Bulldogs would answer back. Hudson Baumwall, he's going to keep it himself around the right side. Look at this block by number 8 to Springham. Baumwall gets into the end zone, and just like that, we're all tied up at 6 after Randolph failed to convert on the PAT. I mentioned, though, that this would be a ground game, but you got to go to the air eventually. It's Vieira. He finds Cade Harper in the flat, and Harper is going to do the rest of the work. He takes the ball down the sideline, and he might go all the way, but he's tripped up right at the 5-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle, but it didn't completely stop a touchdown because Vieira is going to sneak it in and make it 12-6 Morristown after a missed PAT. Later on, more groundwork. Fernando Roque, he's going to take the toss from Vieira on the triple option. Look at this execution, and Roque is going to hit the seam. He's finally tackled at the 5, but once it's inside the 5, you know the Wildcats are going to score. Vieira sneaks it in, and it's 18-6 Morristown, with Randolph leading some magic that unfortunately they wouldn't get. The Wildcats win and punch their ticket to the championship, setting up a date with Roxbury and what should be potentially the game of the year. But let me not speak too soon, because we've got the game of the year coming up next at the varsity level. So the Wildcats punch their ticket to the championship, setting up a date with undefeated Roxbury in what should be a slobber knocker of a game with talent all over the field. And in that matchup, you're going to want to see this Roxbury team. They have got athletes everywhere, but they're especially led by number 28, Cole Connolly, and number 44, Mason Bertos. They have been 2 of the most electrifying players in the Freedom Conference all season long, but don't sleep on Morristown and their ability to gas you on the ground and hit you through the air when you least expect it. Should be a good one on Saturday at Mount Olive High School. So we've got our 5th, 6th, and 7th grade championships all set up. Last but not least, the varsity, or the 8th graders. They took center stage at Hackettstown High School, and it was old-time rivals Mount Olive and Randolph meeting up in the first game, and in perhaps one of the best games, not only of the day, but of the entire season. It all came down to the final seconds. Let's see who took home the dub. Mount Olive and Randolph, two teams with a lot of respect and prestige in this league, but only one team can keep their season alive. After a scoreless first half, we pick things up in the second half. It's Antonio Rodriguez on the carry, and he's dangerous when he gets to the second level. Rodriguez, he's going to take it all the way from 50-plus yards out and put up the first points of the game and give Mount Olive a 6-0 lead. But Randolph, they weren't going to go out sad. They'd find an answer. He finds his man in the flat, and he takes care of the rest. He follows his blockers into the end zone for the score, and we're all tied at 6. But that's how things would stay for a while, though. These were two defenses going at it. There's Jonathan Zilberman clogging up the hole for Mount Olive, and then Matthew Campbell. He's going to shoot the gap to force a 3-and-out for Randolph. Both teams had plenty of 3-and-outs on the day, and the Bulldogs wouldn't give much back, though. There's a TFL there, and then again, Mount Olive trying to make something happen, but it's another TFL for the Bulldogs. It wouldn't be until the final moments of the game where we'd see some magic, and it was Rocco Gallo, the quarterback for the Marauders. He made the biggest play of the game, scrambling around and firing it up to Justin Kay, and Kay puts the Marauders inside the 5 with 1.6 seconds left. And then on the final play of the game, Rodriguez takes the handoff, he rumbles forward, and he's going to fall in for the score. The touchdown gives the Marauders the game and punches Mount Olive's ticket to the championship after an instant classic, a walk-off touchdown, and the Marauders keep their undefeated season alive to take on the winner of Morristown and Sparta. So in the final seconds of the game, Mount Olive keeps its undefeated season alive, but they'll need an opponent in the championship game. Who would it be? Sparta or Morristown? Those two teams battle it out, and one team shined in a big way, especially in the second half. Sparta entered this season as one of the favorites to win the championship in this league once again, but it faces Morristown for the chance to play Mount Olive in the championship game. And it'd be the Wildcats who would strike first. Marcelo Cervone with the play fake and hits Ryan Cornine wide open. He runs into the end zone for the score, and Morristown would take an 8-0 lead after a made field goal PAT. And then the Morristown defense stands on its head. This time Cervone is making a play in the backfield. The tackle pushes Sparta back, and the Wildcats shut out Sparta in the first half. We go into the break with an 8-0 score, but then Sparta will start to show life. A backwards pass falls incomplete, so it's a fumble. Sparta jumps on it, and they take advantage. Eric Weinstock, he takes the toss to the outside, makes a cut, turns on the Jets, and he fights for the end zone, but gets tackled inside the 5. McKernan fights his way into the end zone, and Sparta ties the game at 6. We got a brand new ball game, folks, but not for long when you've got Adam Kroc. This time he calls his own number, and he's got a seam. It's a foot race to the goal line, and Kroc is going to win it. Adam Kroc takes it 70 yards for the touchdown, and Sparta takes its first lead of the game in the fourth quarter. They've been a second-half team all year, and showing you why now. And then, with just a minute left in the game, McKernan, he's going to run it in untouched from 16 yards out and allow Sparta to clinch its spot in championship Saturday. They'll take on undefeated Mount Olive for a chance to claim the title. What a day of playoff football. And now the championship is set for all of your 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade teams. The 8th graders, it'll be Sparta and Mount Olive. This Mount Olive team is one that folks around the Freedom Conference have been calling, simply put, special. They've got weapons all over the field. They play defense, and they've got one of the best quarterbacks in the state. But Sparta, with the way they were able to run the ball in that second half, will be a formidable foe. This game won't be decided by very many points, but whoever wins will certainly have earned their right to claim themselves as 8th grade Freedom Conference champions. That game will take place on Saturday, November 16th at 5 p.m. Can't wait to see all the action. And of course, a big congratulations to all the teams who made the playoffs. A thank you to the players and coaches, staff, and volunteers who did it all for the Morris County Youth Football League. This has been Darren Wallace, and I can't wait for Championship Saturday. I know you can't either. Be sure to tune in and watch all the action right here on SHD Productions. Thank you again. See you next time.